Hi, my name is Swati Wag and I'm the Science Outreach Librarian at Benedictine University. Today I'm going to show you how to come up with a search strategy in the database PubMed that you're going to search and come up with some kind of a stepwise process for doing so. The first step is to identify your topic, right? And most of the time it's given by your instructor or professor. So I also got one, which is the cell model in Prion Diseases. That's where we are going to do. And database for you to go to is called PubMed, which is the premier indexing and abstract database of the National Library of Medicine, and indexes the world's literature in medicine and related fields. So it's a very important database for you to learn. Before I go to the actual search, I'm going to give you some kind of a background information on how to come up with a search strategy. But here is where you will go to the library page on Ben.edu. You have to be in the library portal. That's an important step because we have a lot of subscriptions to journals, and if you're not in the library portal, you won't be able to access the full text of those journal articles. That's why we insist that you go from this web portal to the library web page, and from there I'm not going to talk about most of these because since you're seniors, you must have gone through the library databases before, but I'm going to talk about and focus on databases and PubMed alone, because that's the database which is free and is available as a government site, and you can do a Google search and you can get there. But because you need to access the full text, you need to go through our portal from here. Okay, go from here. And when I come here, this is your login credentials for Ben.edu, and then students have a different type of user ID and passwords than the staff does, so it won't be your initial and last name, so be aware of that. And then we go here, and this is where we go to the National Library of Medicine, and I am not going to concentrate today on advanced search because I'm going to teach you how to go through something called MESH, which is medical subject headings. Now we have to backtrack a little bit. Okay, in your searching, how will you come up with your keywords, right? So that is what I'm going to talk about today, how to formulate a search strategy. Okay, and for that you can do a natural language search. So I can use the keywords like cell model and combine it with the term or concept prion diseases. Okay, but there's an easier way to do it, because if I want to use the synonyms and related terms to get the maximum amount of literature that is beneficial to me, then it becomes very cumbersome. So what most databases do for scholarly literature, which this is to map all the different terms that we can come up with to a preferred heading called the medical subject heading. Okay, and that's where which is also called controlled vocabulary, because the indexers at the National Library of Medicine get together and come up with all the variant ways or different entry points students or faculty or anybody comes to the database to search, and they kind of say, okay, instead of having multiple terms to go through with an OR, which is a Boolean operator, and or not are Boolean operators. If you want to learn more about it, give me a call and I will walk you through. Okay, but that's not important. Just remember there's and, or, and not that you use in a search, that is to combine concepts that you want in a meaningful way. Or is used for synonyms or related terms, and is used when you want both of those terms in a search, like the title field or the abstract field or some prominent part of the article that you want to search. Now, PubMed indexes journals, reports, conference papers, everything. There's another subset of PubMed called Medline, which is only journal articles. You can do that depending upon your need. I would tend to think that you would go to Medline, which is a subset of PubMed, because most of the information in sciences is current only for 5 years, up to 5 years. So anything greater than 5 years, you have to go through carefully, because things might have changed in between those 5 years or greater than 5 years. And that's how we are going to go. Now I'm going to ignore this advanced search. If you want, you can set up an appointment with me and I will walk you through that too. But I think the best place for you to go is MESH database, which is controlled vocabulary. Now my first term is cell models, right? So now I'm going to put cell, and I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put models. Now the asterisk there is for truncation. Okay, so when I put cell models, I want to see if I get anything and it tells me cellular, but I don't see what I want to see, right? So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to use any of these because these don't make sense to me. Okay, so I'm going to go back there and change it to cell. Okay, that will take cells, cellular, everything. And then I get cellulite and all of that, which I don't want. So I might just go, you have to, there's a lot of them. So I'm not going to do the truncation there. I'm just going to put cells, cell, and see if I get a term. And there is cells here. See that? So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to look at it. Now this gives me the scope note, what is included in my search for cells, fundamental structure and functional units of subunits of living organisms. So that is exactly what I want, right? And then it was introduced in 1972. So anything that you're searching in this database in MESH dates back to 1972. Now these are called subheadings. There is the particular aspect of cells that you want to study. We're looking for cell models, right? So I'm going to see if there's something called models here, and I don't see models except methods. And then I might use that or just leave it as cell. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to leave just the cell and say add to search builder without any. And if you go down, right, it will give you a kind of a hierarchy of what this contains, right? Now under cell, these are all these different kind of cells you have by type. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to leave it just the way it is. The cellular structure, you know, I don't know if this will include what I want, which is modeling. So I'm going to leave it just like that and say add to search builder. Okay, and then I'm going to use the term models and then see if I get models, search. And then it says statistical model, all of these, and I don't think this is what I want. So I'm going to say no, this is not what I want. So I'm just going to put it there. And then what I really am looking for is analytical techniques or how structure of the cell that causes prion diseases. That's what I want, right? So I'm going to say molecular structure. And see what happens. Then I'm going to go and say search. There is molecular location of the atoms, groups, or ion relatives to one another in the molecule, as well as number, type, and so molecular conformation, molecular structure is not there. So I might do cellular structure and see if I get something. And there is cellular structures, and then there is cytology as a subheading. You can do that if you want, but I'm going to just do cellular structures and keep that. Okay, and under cellular structure, I'm going to look at, it could be abnormalities, and then it could be any of, let's see what it is, diagnosis, imaging, genetics, isolation, in metabolism, microbiology, all of these you can think about, you know, but I don't see anything that specifically is a subheading for what I want, except for cytology, but I'm not sure I want to do that. So I'm just going to keep it this, and here is our and or. It is cells or cellular structure that I'm looking for. So I'm going to put an or there and say add to search. So I got cell mesh or cellular structure mesh. Now my next concept is prion diseases, right? So I'm going to put prion diseases, and then I'm going to say search. And it is a term, okay? And then if you look under there, under prion diseases, there is diagnosis, all of this, you know, but I'm not sure if this pathology could be one, but I am not 100% sure. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is and put it. And if you go down, there is a hierarchy. These are diseases category: nervous system diseases, neurodegenerative diseases. If I do prion diseases, all of these diseases names are included in the prion diseases. That's the umbrella name, okay? And here also it has these all mesh categories, diseases category, and then I have central nervous system, and I have these, okay? And same thing here. Show virus diseases, it was that term, virus diseases, slow virus diseases, but after 1992 it is this term, okay? I am going to look at, and these are called the entry terms, right? It means these are the different keywords you could have searched with, but all of these different keywords that you have gone in, that you could go in with an or, is mapped to this one subject heading, which is prion diseases, okay? So you have saved yourself some time by going to the subject headings to do your search. And then I'm going to say add to search builder. It's at end, because I want cells or cellular structures in prion diseases, okay? And I'm going to say search PubMed. And I get 2,660, okay? If you remember, this goes from 1957 to 2022, which is a lot of years. I can limit it to 10 years if I want, or I can do a custom limit, 612. Then I'm going to say, I can say what kind of articles I want, or I can, remember I said, if I do it in, if I want to say I want human, you may not, you might want to do the study, the mouse model or any other model that will show you or give you an inkling of what the structure looks like and what happens at the cellular level in these diseases. And that is what you're going to be finding out. Now, if here is something called a review article. A review article is not considered primary literature. You know, primary literature is something that is research done by an individual scientist and experiments done by that person and being published in a journal article which is peer reviewed. That means a group of his peers have made it worthy of being published in that journal. So that means it has some status. And that's the difference between a non-peer reviewed article and a peer reviewed article, because it has some kind of a stature, because it's approved by people who are experts in that field. Okay. So now in a review article, it is not considered primary, because review article is something written by an expert. It is scholarly literature, but it is not primary literature. It is secondary literature, because it usually traces the development of a topic through time. I mean, all these diseases were there from 1957, right? But then as the years progressed, we found out more about it, how it's caused, how to control it, are there any therapies? So that's the kind of information that the review article will tell you. It's background information. So you can look at it, and there will be citations or references at the end which you can use, which will be mostly primary literature. Okay. But the best way to find out is to go to something called Medline here, which I have. It will be under additional filters, but I have made this in journals. I have clicked on Medline, right? So that's the reason why when I went through all the filters, these are called filters, which are on the left, which will narrow your set to what you can use comfortably. Okay, now there are 331 articles, and then that's too much for you to go through. So now I'm going to make it only Medline. Okay, and then I still get 331. Then I'm also going to look at something which is only English, because I don't know any other language. I only know English. So I'm going to, and then I got 326.7. And then what I can do here is, in the mesh field, I can put any of these to be in the title field. Okay, so I'm going to, or I can do something called major, M-A-J-R. Okay, and that is, it will look at major topics and then see what I get. I get less, 251. I can do the same thing here, M-A-J-R. Oh, I should have put that bracket back. The syntax is very important. You have to put the square bracket in this, okay? And then I will go here to again the same thing, major. And I can show you how to do that in the mesh heading search itself. You know, there is a place there where you can put it. And then I will say search. I get 103, right? So now I'm going to go to, for 10 years, I can limit it to 5 years and see what happens. Okay. And I already did humans, like I said, and I get 41 results. And then you can look at this. It is International Journal of Molecular Science 2021. This is a review article. I tend not to look for review articles because I want an original article. Okay, I'll give you an example here. This is a review article for my prion protein in neuroimmune crosstalk. This is something that you can look at. And I'm looking to see if there's anything that's not, some combination by nanotubes, implications for disease and therapeutic applications. You don't want therapeutic, you want to know the actual what happens to that protein. Prion is the protein. So host extracellular have served as a leukocyte. This is all reviews. I can put here not review. And then it will be, hopefully, remove the review from it. I get 27 results, which are not review articles. So this is better. You can look at this one, for example, you know. And here is what I'm going to look at it. And it's available in And here is the article. I can look at it. And if I like it, I can see, you can save it to yourself and then look up. And this is an important part of it, cell lines, okay? Here, what they did. So this is this is mouse prions and astrocytes. So this is something that you can look at, okay? And I want to go back here. Now, just suppose this is the article you like, right? You can go here and look at cited by other articles in PMC. These are neuroinflammation, non-cell autonomous, that one. From cell culture to organoids, mode system investigating prion strain. You can look at it. This one is a good one, 2021. So this one could be something that you could use. And if you like this article, right, you can always cite it. You look at the site. I wanted to look at the site, PubReader, ePubMed, add the favorites. Similar articles in PubMed. Suppose this is the article like, you can look at, these are the, in PubMed, this is what you want, say. Or this one you want to look at, what happens in Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And then you can see the site, which is, you can do it in AMA. I think you have to do AMA, I'm not sure, but check with your professor and you should be able to look at it in that format. That is AMA. There are others. It could be APA. This would be in APA 7th. And you can download this to anything you want with it. And there's another thing that I can tell you to do, which is send to. You create a bibliography as you add. You can add it to the clipboard or to my bibliography. But you have to remember, you have to log in to NCBI, which is something that you'll have to do in order to do that. But you can avoid it by just going individually and looking at the sites and then creating a bibliography for yourself. You can send it to yourself, okay? The other part of doing a PubMed search and not Medline is also this. You can see who has cited this article. And if you look at this PubMed link here, it will tell you who has cited that article, cited by, okay? These are the references. And these are the ones that have cited this article. It is end-terminal region of probe. This is something that might help you. And read that article. This Journal of Biological Chemistry 2021. This looks good. So this is basically what I wanted to tell you. If you want more help, oh, one thing I forgot. I have to go back and look at that my search which I did earlier. I'm going to go back there and look at PubMed here and then go back to my headings. And when I used search Prion Diseases, right, in the search term, I can do something called major. This is Prion Diseases. I didn't want any of the subheadings, but you can say restrict to major topics. And I'm not going to do this. Do not include mesh terms found below this term in the mesh, because I do want to use these. Because these are the different diseases, individual diseases, which are called prion diseases as an umbrella. So you don't want to miss these. So I'm not going to click on this here. I'm just going to say restrict to mesh headings that I did later by putting it in that mesh term bracket there, okay? And this is what you will see, add to search builder here. You will see that, major, okay? That's the quickest way of doing a search in PubMed. You can do a search using keywords, but it becomes tedious. The fastest way is to use subheading, the search here, okay? That's about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. My number is 847-312-4845. And thank you. Good luck. Bye.